Hello everyone and welcome to CAC Chat. I'm Danielle and this is Siva from 10am and here's our Fast Four. So Siva, who lives in your house?
I actually live on my own and I live here in Campbelltown.
Yeah, and what kept you busy this week?
What kept me busy this week? I actually just finished looking after some family friends' children, and then kind of resting up from that with work, which is all the way in Lane Cove.
It's a bit of a distance.
Yes, it's a good trek.
Yeah, and what puts a smile on your face?
I actually really enjoy curling up on the sofa with a cup of tea on a rainy day, and there's been many rainy days this week, so it's been good.
Yeah. What did you last read in the Bible?
I actually looked at 2 Samuel chapter 22 today, and we looked at that with our ENTRUST Teens program.
Yeah, and so you've been involved in the development of that program. Where did it kind of start, and how have you developed kind of that program?
It actually started because I was sitting with some family members and we were talking about the importance of like that stage of life, being a teenager and growing up, and how important it is to ensure that they're always having their faith sort of encouraged and reassured as they're going through such like a tricky part in their life. And sort of talked about that, and I just realized that we don't really have that sort of a program available for the teenagers in church. And then I just sought out some leaders, and we got together, and we've just started it this year actually, the ENTRUST Teens program. And it's been a really eye-opening experience, sort of seeing where the teenagers are at, like where the teenagers are at, like in a particular stage of their faith, and sort of going through the passages with them that we're studying in church. It's been very encouraging actually, seeing what they have to say, and I've found I've had a lot to learn myself, and it's been good so far going on that sort of journey through their faith for them, and I hope it continues as well. And it's always encouraging seeing young people continue to grow in their faith. Yeah,
so you mentioned you've had some benefit from that. What have been the challenges involved in that, and how have you navigated that in your, like, depending on going through that?
I think the challenges that have definitely come with that is I had initially gone into it going, oh no, kids, I have to sort of sit with them for hours at a time. But I've actually found it really enjoyable, being able to sort of sit down and break down different passages of the Bible with them, and getting into the whole nitty gritty, because 2 Samuel, the Old Testament, it's pretty hard for like at that age to really like wrap your head around it. And I mean, even in church, we're also struggling sometimes to come to terms with the whole idea of, God's behind this king. So David, it's his chosen king, and they're going out and, killing people, going to war and stuff like that. How do you wrap your head around the fact that this is still the just and merciful, graceful God that we know, who sent his son Jesus? And it's been really, encouraging being with the teenagers and seeing their perspective on it, and how they just, they actually really get it, and they're able to really grasp that the big message of it all, that the big message of it all, that in spite of all these things that happens, God's character hasn't changed. And that's what we looked at today. In David's song of praise to God in 2 Samuel chapter 22, we looked at, regardless of the passing of time, God is still the same. He's still the gracious God that he is behind all of the hard stuff that happens in the Old Testament, because he ultimately sends his son Jesus to die for our sins. And I think being able to go through that with the teenagers, it is challenging when they have hard questions and stuff, but it is helpful also to my own faith, so that I can always sort of look back at the truth that, God is the same to yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
That's been really encouraging, Siva. Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next week. We'll be interviewing someone new from Campbelltown Anglican Churches. We'll see you then.